viewers, my name is Sandisiwe Ntlokwana from Waibanjwa Senior Secondary School. Welcome to the ECDoE broadcast studio. Today's lesson is about marketing. I will be covering this topic for your full understanding. So viewers, marketing is always assessed in question 6 of the examination paper. Before we look at marketing into details, I'd like us to recap on our grade 11's work. You will remember that in grade 11, you were taught about the promotional techniques that are used in the tourism industry. And these promotional techniques, one of them is the above-the-line promotional technique. Second one being the below-the-line promotional technique. And you'll remember that in each of these promotional techniques, they have their examples. I want us to look at the examples of the above-the-line promotional technique. So the examples of above-the-line promotional technique is the conventional media, which includes TV and radio. It also includes flyers, posters, brochures, and pamphlets. I would also like us to look at the examples of the below-the-line promotional technique. The examples of the below-the-line promotional technique are personal selling, in-store discounts, promotional sponsorships, and exhibitions, shows, and expos. Marketing is always assessed in question 6 of the examination paper. Before we look at marketing, I'd like us to recap on our grade 11's work. You'll remember that in grade 11, you were taught about the promotional techniques that are used in the tourism industry. The first one being the above-the-line promotional technique. And the second one is the below-the-line promotional technique. You will remember that in grade 11, you were taught about the examples of each of these promotional techniques. Let us look at the examples of the above-the-line promotional technique. The first one being the conventional media. And the examples or the tools of conventional media are TV and radios. It's flyers, posters, brochures, and pamphlets. These are the examples of the above-the-line promotional technique. Coming to the examples of the below-the-line promotional technique, they are personal selling, in-store discounts, promotional sponsorship, exhibitions, shows, and expos. Again, you will remember, viewers, that in grade 11, you were also taught about the marketing budget. The marketing budget, which is the sheet that projects all the costs that are related to marketing. And these costs that are related to marketing are communication costs, travel costs, market research costs, and personnel costs. Now, let us look at the reason why it is important to market South Africa as a tourist destination, as the first preferred tourist destination. Before we look at that, let us look at the reasons why it is important to market South Africa as a tourist destination. Before we do that, I'd like us to know the organization that is responsible for marketing the country both locally and internationally. The name of that organization is South African Tourism. You can either say South African Tourism or SA Tourism. Those two are acceptable. So this is the only organization that is responsible for marketing the country both locally and internationally. Now, I want us to look at the importance of marketing South Africa internationally. Why is it important for the country to be marketed locally and internationally? There are two importances why it is important to market the country locally and internationally. The first importance being to increase an annual volume in foreign arrivals in South Africa, so that there can be an increase in the number, in the volume of foreign travelers traveling into South Africa. And the second one is to increase international awareness as a travel destination, of South Africa as a travel destination. Once people are aware of the destination, they will begin to visit that destination. So these are the two importances why it is important to market the country both locally and internationally. And on your examination, this is your 4 marks. Now I want us to look at the core business of SA Tourism. Remember, we said initially that the organization responsible for marketing the country both locally and internationally is SA Tourism, or South African Tourism. Now we will be looking at the core business of this organization. The first core business of this organization being market is to market the country locally and internationally as a destination of choice. And the second one is to maintain and enhance the standard of services and facilities for tourists. And the third one, and also the last one, the last core business of SA Tourism is to coordinate the marketing activities of role players in the tourism industry. Now, it is important that you learners are aware of these functions. Sometimes the examiner will be asking about the functions or the roles of SA Tourism. These are the roles that the examiner would be looking at, would be assessing rather. Okay, then we need to know the details, be able to know these core businesses of SA Tourism and be able to explain them. For example, we'll be explaining the first core business of SA Tourism, which is to market South Africa internationally as a tourist destination. How can SA Tourism do this? SA Tourism can market the country locally and internationally by participating in major travel shows both locally and internationally. And again, SA Tourism can market the country by holding educational sessions with the international partners of South Africa's industry. And another thing that is done by SA Tourism to market the country locally and internationally, SA Tourism categorizes these international markets. These foreign markets, it categorizes these markets into 5 markets. The first one being the core markets, the second one being the investment markets, the third one being the tactical markets, another one being the watch list markets. The last one is the markets of strategic importance or strategic airlinks. Because SA Tourism has got limited funds, now it categorizes these markets so that it can know which markets to spend their resources on. Let's look at the core markets. We need to be able to know these categories of markets. They are always assessed in section A of the question paper. Question 1. So we need to know these markets and be able to explain them. Let's look at the core markets, for example. So the core markets are the markets that deliver bread and butter in terms of tourist arrivals, which means that now these are the main markets. So SA Tourism spends a lot of resources marketing South Africa into these markets. The second one being the investment markets. What are the investment markets? This market is likely to grow and become important when in future. Now, another market is the tactical markets. What are the tactical markets? These are the markets that are considered to be less attractive, but they may be easily developed. Coming to the watch list markets, which are the markets that do not currently present opportunities but need to be monitored to see if the situation changes. So we need to be able to explain these markets for Section A purposes. I want us to look at the last one now, which is the strategic importance. What are the strategic importance markets? So these are the markets that they may develop over time due to other interaction between South Africa and the particular country. Looking at the strategic airlinks, which are the markets that happen to be along an air travel route to and from South Africa and may present opportunities. Remember, grade 12 learners, that SA Tourism categorizes these markets because it has limited funds available. So it chooses the most promising markets in which to promote South Africa. Now, that was the first core business of SA Tourism, to market the country locally and internationally. I want us to look at the second core business, or the second role of SA Tourism, which is to maintain and enhance the standard of services and facilities. Now, how can SA Tourism maintain and improve the standard of services and facilities in the tourism industry? So SA Tourism can do this by working with TGCSA, Tourism Grading Council of South Africa. You will remember in your grade 10 and your grade 11's work, you were taught about Tourism Grading Council of South Africa, and its function is to monitor and evaluate the standard of services and facilities. So Tourism Grading Council of South Africa monitors and evaluates the standard of services and facilities in the tourism industry. It also grades these accommodation establishments by awarding them stars ranging from 1 to 5 stars. So SA Tourism can work hand in hand with TGCSA to monitor the standard of services and facilities. So another initiative that SA Tourism does is to do what? Is to do the welcome awards for the businesses. So there are welcome awards for the businesses. How does SA Tourism awards establishments? By looking at the tourism businesses, their operations, and also by looking at the individuals that are not only the excellent hosts, but also raise the levels of customer service and provides authentic South African experiences. There are also the other awards that are used by SA Tourism to improve the standard of services and facilities. And these awards are called ECDoE Awards. What does ECDoE mean? It's an abbreviation that stands for Emerging Tourism Entrepreneur of the Year Award. And these awards, they recognize the best new tourism businesses. So that is the second role, or the second core business of SA Tourism. We said the first one is to market the country both locally and internationally. The second one is to improve and enhance the standard of services and facilities in the industry. Now, I want us to look at the third core business of SA Tourism, which is to coordinate the marketing activities of role players in the industry. So SA Tourism coordinates the marketing activities of role players in the tourism industry. Other tourism organizations should use marketing done by SA Tourism for their own initiatives. And lastly, marketing efforts should be coordinated so that they align with the strategy of SA Tourism. This will ensure that potential international tourists get a clear message about South Africa as a destination. So those are the three core businesses of SA Tourism. Now, I want us to look at the opportunities that are used by SA Tourism to market South Africa both locally and internationally. Now, we have two international opportunities, which are ITB Berlin and the World Travel Market in London. Then we have two local platforms that are used by SA Tourism to market the country locally and internationally. So viewers, I want us to look at the opportunities for marketing SA internationally. So there are two opportunities for marketing South Africa internationally. The first one being ITB Berlin, and the second one is the World Travel Market in London. There are also the local platforms or local opportunities that SA Tourism can use to market the country locally and internationally. And these platforms are Tourism Indaba, The Getaway Show, Meetings Africa, and World Travel Market in Africa. So this is 2 marks each in your examination paper. So there are two international platforms that SA can use to market the country locally and internationally, which are ITB Berlin and the World Travel Market in London. Then we have 4 local opportunities that SA Tourism can use to market South Africa and the Southern African region to the world. We have 4 of these platforms, one of them being Tourism Indaba, The Getaway Show, Meetings Africa, and World Travel Market in Africa. Now, viewers, I want us to look at Tourism Marketing Levy of South Africa, which is abbreviated as TOMSA. This is usually 6 marks of your examination paper, so it is important that we pay attention. So, again, you will remember that you were taught this one in grade 11 as well. You need to know what TOMSA is. So, TOMSA levy is the 1% of each confirmed booking. It's 1% of each confirmed booking. It is voluntary, so businesses are not forced to charge this levy. They participate voluntarily. So I want us now to look at the steps of TOMSA levy. These steps they need to follow in a logical sequence. So the first step is that participating tourism businesses collect the 1% levy from the tourist. That means tourists pay the 1% levy to the tourism businesses. So the second step is that the money is paid to TOMSA on a monthly basis. The tourism businesses that collect the money from the tourists pay the money to TOMSA on a monthly basis. Then TOMSA sends the money to TBCSA. And you will remember from your grade 10's work that TBCSA stands for Tourism Business Council of South Africa. So TOMSA sends the money to TBCSA. The third step is that TBCSA administrates the funds and pays the funds to SA Tourism. So from TBCSA, the funds go to SA Tourism. Then what does SA Tourism do with the funds? SA Tourism uses the funds to market the country both locally and internationally. That is, SA Tourism markets South Africa as the first preferred destination of choice. This is 6 marks of your question paper. These steps need to follow in a logical sequence. Now, in summary, you need to know the name of the organization that is responsible for marketing South Africa both locally and internationally. And the name of that organization is SA Tourism. This is your 2 marks in an examination paper. Again, we have spoken about the core business of SA Tourism. And we said the core business of SA Tourism is to market South Africa locally and internationally. The second one is to enhance the standard of services and facilities in the tourism industry. And the last one is to coordinate the marketing activities of the role players in the tourism industry. Another important thing that we have discussed in this lesson is the steps that need to be followed when administering the TOMSA levy. So we said step 1 is that participating tourism businesses collect the 1% levy from the tourists. The money that was collected from the tourists is paid to TOMSA on a monthly basis by the tourism businesses. And then TOMSA makes the funds available to TBCSA. From there, TBCSA administers the funds and pays the funds to SA Tourism. So TBCSA is an administrator of the funds. Then from there, SA Tourism uses the funds to market the country locally and internationally. We have come to the end of our lesson. You can leave your questions on the comments. Don't forget to leave the name of your school so we give shout outs. Please share, recommend, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. See you on our next lesson.